They thought they were untouchable, running massive criminal empires from behind a screen. Drug lords, scammers, gang leaders, these criminals used social media not just to flaunt their wealth, but to build their illegal operations in plain sight. From a ruthless cyber cartel kingpin, to a rapper who exposed his own gang, to a crypto billionaire who scammed the world, their online fame became their downfall. Some ended up behind bars, others disappeared forever. But one thing is certain: social media became their greatest weapon and their ultimate trap. Stay till the end, because this story only gets wilder. These are 7 criminals who used social media to run their illegal empires and lost everything. Paul Le Roux, the cybercriminal who built a global empire through social media. Paul Le Roux, a name that remains lesser known compared to the world's most infamous crime lords, was one of the most sophisticated criminals to ever exploit the internet for his illicit operations. Born in Zimbabwe in 1972, Le Roux was a programming prodigy who initially appeared to be just another tech-savvy entrepreneur. However, beneath his seemingly legitimate business dealings lay a vast criminal network that spanned continents and industries, from online pharmaceuticals and arms dealing to drug trafficking and even murder for hire. His ability to leverage social media and online communication platforms made him one of the most dangerous digital age criminals. Le Roux's empire began with a legal venture. He developed encryption software known as E4M, which later became the foundation for TrueCrypt, a widely used data encryption program. But rather than staying in the tech world as a respected developer, he took a darker path. In the early 2000s, he saw the potential of the internet for illegal businesses and founded RX Limited, an online pharmaceutical company that sold prescription painkillers to American customers without legitimate prescriptions. The operation used fake online doctors and a network of call centers and pharmacy suppliers, all coordinated through digital platforms, including social media and encrypted messaging services. What made Le Roux's operation unique was his strategic use of online marketing and social media to expand his reach. He exploited platforms to attract customers, used internet forums to discuss illegal drug distribution, and even recruited employees through digital channels. He built an intricate web of digital communication to manage his empire remotely, rarely meeting his associates in person. This allowed him to evade law enforcement for years while making hundreds of millions of dollars. As RX Limited thrived, Le Roux expanded into even more dangerous ventures. He moved into international drug trafficking, smuggling large quantities of methamphetamine from North Korea to the Philippines and beyond. He also became a major player in arms dealing, selling weapons to warlords, cartels, and even governments. His criminal network stretched from Asia and Africa to South America, all while he continued to operate under a veil of digital anonymity. Le Roux's paranoia grew alongside his empire. He began using encrypted communication exclusively, banning his employees from discussing sensitive matters over unsecured lines. He also used social media and online tracking tools to monitor his rivals, potential threats, and even his own associates. In a shocking turn, he ordered several assassinations, eliminating anyone he suspected of betraying him or interfering with his operations. These murders, coordinated through online messages, revealed the extent of his ruthlessness. Despite his meticulous planning, Le Roux's downfall began when law enforcement agencies finally infiltrated his network. The DEA, after years of investigation, set up a sting operation in 2012, luring him into a trap under the guise of an arms deal. Once arrested, the extent of his operations began to unravel. His personal laptop contained extensive records of illegal transactions, assassinations, and drug shipments, all meticulously documented. In a surprising twist, Le Roux decided to cooperate with authorities. He became a government informant, assisting the DEA and FBI in dismantling parts of his former criminal empire. His testimony led to multiple arrests of his associates, though the full extent of his cooperation remains classified. In return for his assistance, he was given a relatively lenient sentence, but his empire was effectively dismantled. Paul Le Roux's story is a chilling example of how social media and digital technology can be weaponized to create a vast and elusive criminal empire. His ability to run a multinational syndicate while staying in the shadows made him one of the most dangerous cyber criminals of the modern era. Even behind bars, his legacy serves as a warning about the dark side of digital anonymity and the power that technology can grant to those who know how to exploit it. Ross Ulbricht, the mastermind. Behind Silk Road, the dark web's black market. Ross Ulbricht was once an idealistic libertarian with dreams of creating a decentralized marketplace free from government oversight. Instead, he became one of the most infamous internet criminals in history, using social media and the dark web to run Silk Road, an illegal online empire that facilitated billions of dollars in drug sales. His story is a cautionary tale of how digital platforms, when exploited, can enable crime on an unprecedented scale. Born in Texas in 1984, Ulbricht was a bright student with a passion for physics, mathematics, and economics. He studied at Penn State and the University of Texas, eventually becoming fascinated with libertarian philosophy and the concept of free markets unrestricted by government control. His beliefs led him to an idea that would revolutionize online crime, a marketplace where users could buy and sell anything anonymously, using cryptocurrency to avoid detection. In 2011, he launched Silk Road, an underground website accessible only through Tor, a network designed to anonymize users. What made Silk Road unique was its use of Bitcoin for transactions, a digital currency that made it nearly impossible to trace buyers and sellers. The website quickly became the go-to place for illegal goods, particularly narcotics. Vendors could set up profiles and advertise their products just like on eBay or Amazon, complete with reviews and ratings. Social media played a critical role in spreading awareness about Silk Road, as word-of-mouth marketing on forums like Reddit, Bitcoin Talk, and private Facebook groups helped it gain thousands of users. As the site grew, Ulbricht, operating under the alias Dread Pirate Roberts, DPR, became more deeply entrenched in his digital empire. He communicated with his moderators, vendors, and even customers through encrypted messaging apps, online forums, and anonymous social media accounts. His confidence grew as law enforcement seemed unable to track him down. He even debated libertarian ideals on public platforms, arguing that Silk Road was a force for good, allowing people to buy what they wanted without violence or middlemen. Despite his claims of running a peaceful marketplace, Ulbricht wasn't above using violence to maintain control. As paranoia set in, he allegedly attempted to arrange assassinations of those he suspected of betraying him. Using encrypted messages, he allegedly ordered hits on several individuals, including a former employee who threatened to expose Silk Road's operations. Though no evidence confirmed these killings took place, they painted a dark picture of a man who had gone from ideological entrepreneur to ruthless kingpin. Ulbricht's downfall came in 2013 after a massive undercover investigation by the FBI, DEA, and Homeland Security. Authorities had infiltrated Silk Road, gathering evidence from vendors and tracking Bitcoin transactions. But what ultimately led to his capture was a simple mistake. He logged into an administrator account from an unprotected public Wi-Fi at a San Francisco library. Agents swooped in, arresting him on the spot before he could encrypt his laptop, which contained detailed records of Silk Road's operations. The trial was swift and damning. Prosecutors painted Ulbricht as a criminal mastermind responsible for facilitating over $1 billion in illegal transactions, including the sale of heroin, cocaine, and firearms. He was convicted on multiple charges, including conspiracy to commit money laundering, drug trafficking, and hacking. In 2015, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole, a punishment that sparked debate over the severity of his sentencing. Many saw him as a political prisoner, a symbol of government crackdown on financial freedom, while others viewed him as a dangerous enabler of crime. Ross Ulbricht's case remains a landmark in cybercrime history. His use of social media, cryptocurrency, and the dark web demonstrated how technology could be weaponized to create a global black market beyond the reach of law enforcement. Even after Silk Road was shut down, numerous copycat sites emerged, proving that the blueprint he created would outlive him. His story is a reminder that while the internet provides freedom, it also offers criminals unprecedented opportunities until the law catches up. Tekashi 6ix99, the rapper who used social media to promote gang activity and crime. Daniel Hernandez, better known as Tekashi 6ix99, skyrocketed to fame as one of the most controversial figures in hip-hop. His rise wasn't just due to his music, it was his strategic and reckless use of social media that made him a viral sensation. However, the same platforms that helped him gain millions of followers also played a key role in exposing his ties to the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, a violent street gang involved in drug trafficking, armed robbery, and extortion. His story is a modern example of how social media can blur the lines between entertainment and crime, ultimately leading to his downfall. Born in Brooklyn in 1996, Hernandez had a rough upbringing, losing his father at a young age and struggling with poverty. He turned to music in his late teens, creating a persona that was loud, aggressive, and visually striking, with rainbow-colored hair, face tattoos, and over-the-top antics. However, it wasn't just his image that got people's attention. Instagram and YouTube became his battleground, where he constantly taunted other rappers, flashed weapons, and flaunted stacks of cash, all while promoting his gang ties. His online presence was a mix of viral marketing and real-life criminal activity, drawing in millions of followers who couldn't tell if he was just playing a character or actually involved in serious crimes. His breakthrough came in 2017 with the song Gummo, a track filled with gang references and featuring members of the 9 Trey Bloods in the music video. The song became an anthem in the streets, and 6ix99 doubled down on his gang image, frequently posting videos with known gang members, showing off firearms, and making threats against rival rappers. His social media became a digital crime diary. He would go on Instagram Live to show himself in dangerous situations, bragging about shootings and confrontations. But while 6ix99 was gaining millions of fans, he was also attracting law enforcement's attention. The FBI had been investigating the 9 Trey Bloods for years, and his reckless online behavior provided them with key evidence. In late 2018, he was arrested along with several gang members and charged with racketeering, firearms offenses, and drug trafficking. The case against him was overwhelming: wiretaps, surveillance footage, and most damningly his own social media posts, which prosecutors used as proof of his gang involvement. Facing a potential 47-year prison sentence, 6ix99 made a shocking decision. He cooperated with the feds. In court, he turned on his former gang associates, giving detailed testimony about their criminal activities, from shootings to drug deals. His testimony led to multiple convictions, effectively dismantling part of the gang. While many called him a snitch, his cooperation earned him a significantly reduced sentence, and he was released in 2020 after serving only 2 years. Upon his release, he immediately returned to Instagram and YouTube, mocking those who criticized him for snitching and continuing his online antics. While his music still garners attention, his credibility in the rap world remains damaged. His story is a modern lesson in how social media can turn someone into a superstar, but also be the very thing that destroys them. His reckless use of online platforms not only built his brand, but also provided law enforcement with a trail of digital evidence that led to his downfall. Raymond Hushpuppi Abbas, the Instagram scammer who flaunted his wealth while running global fraud. Raymond Abbas, better known as Hush Puppy, was the definition of an Instagram influencer, flashing designer clothes, expensive watches, luxury cars, and private jets to his millions of followers. His extravagant lifestyle made him a social media sensation, admired by fans who believed he had made it big through business success. But behind the glitz and glamour, Hush Puppy was one of the world's most notorious cybercriminals, orchestrating multi-million-dollar fraud schemes that targeted businesses and individuals worldwide. His downfall came when the very same social media presence that built his brand also helped the FBI track and arrest him. Born in Nigeria, Abbas came from humble beginnings, but had a knack for deception. He relocated to Malaysia and later Dubai, where he posed as a successful real estate investor and businessman. In reality, his wealth came from business email compromise, BEC scams, identity theft and wire fraud, targeting companies and banks in multiple countries. He and his associates hacked into corporate emails, impersonated executives, and tricked organizations into transferring millions of dollars into fraudulent accounts. Despite running an illegal empire, Hush Puppy was addicted to social media validation. He regularly posted photos of himself in Versace robes, Louis Vuitton outfits, and Rolls-Royces, with captions bragging about his success. He surrounded himself with celebrities, influencers, and other wealthy figures, using social media to reinforce the illusion that he was a legitimate entrepreneur. He also engaged in petty online feuds, flaunting his riches to taunt critics who questioned his source of wealth. However, his need to show off ultimately became his biggest mistake. Law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, Interpol, and Dubai police, had been investigating his fraudulent activities for years. His Instagram posts provided critical clues, from the locations of his luxury purchases to serial numbers on his designer bags, which helped link him to financial transactions related to cybercrimes. In June 2020, he was arrested in a dramatic raid in Dubai known as Operation Fox Hunt 2. Authorities seized $40 million in cash, 13 luxury cars, and evidence of over $100 million in fraudulent transactions. He was extradited to the United States, where he pleaded guilty to money laundering and cyber fraud. In 2022, he was sentenced to 11 years in prison. Hush Puppy's case is a classic example of how social media can turn criminals into celebrities, but also expose their crimes in real time. His thirst for attention and validation made him a larger-than-life figure, but it also left a digital footprint that law enforcement used to take him down. His story serves as a warning to modern scammers who believe they can outsmart the system while broadcasting their illicit wealth online. Omar Trevino Morales, the cartel leader who used social media to spread fear and control. Omar Trevino Morales, known as Zed42, was the ruthless leader of Los Zetas, one of Mexico's most violent and sophisticated drug cartels. Unlike traditional cartel bosses who operated in secrecy, Trevino Morales understood the power of social media as a weapon, not just for recruitment, but for intimidation, propaganda, and psychological warfare. Under his leadership, Los Zetas became infamous for their brutal tactics, many of which were publicized online to instill fear in their enemies and control territories across Mexico. Born in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, Trevino Morales rose through the cartel ranks by proving his brutality and efficiency in organized crime. Los Zetas, originally formed by defectors from the Mexican Special Forces, operated more like a paramilitary group than a traditional drug cartel. They weren't just in the drug business. They expanded into human trafficking, extortion, kidnapping, and murder for hire. What made Trevino Morales and Los Zetas stand out was their strategic use of social media. They would post graphic execution videos on YouTube, Facebook, and cartel blogs, showcasing gruesome killings of rivals and law enforcement officers. These videos served a dual purpose. They were warnings to enemies and propaganda tools for recruitment. Young men, drawn by the promise of money, power, and status, were lured into the cartel through online messaging platforms. Los Zetas also hacked news websites and manipulated online narratives, controlling information about their operations. They would threaten journalists and bloggers who reported negatively about the cartel. Several reporters who exposed their crimes were found dead, with chilling messages left beside their bodies. Social media users who spoke against them often faced public executions, sometimes broadcast online. Trevino Morales himself rarely appeared in public, but his influence was felt everywhere. He oversaw a digital strategy that monitored rival gangs and law enforcement movements through WhatsApp, encrypted chats, and GPS tracking. His cartel would also post fake job advertisements online, tricking people into cartel recruitment traps. Many who applied for security jobs were forced to become hitmen or drug couriers under the threat of death. However, the same digital footprint that allowed Los Zetas to expand also contributed to Trevino Morales' capture. In 2015, after years of intelligence gathering, Mexican authorities and U.S. agencies tracked cartel communications, identifying key locations based on social media activity and encrypted messages. A raid was conducted in San Pedro Garza Garcia, an affluent suburb of Monterrey, where Z42 was arrested without a single shot fired. His arrest marked a significant blow to Los Zetas, but the cartel's online terror tactics had already set a dangerous precedent. Even after his capture, the cartel continued to use social media for recruitment, threats, and psychological control. His story is a testament to how digital platforms have transformed modern crime, where power isn't just held through violence, but through the ability to manipulate fear in the digital world. Jeremy Meeks, the hot felon who used social media fame to escape a life of crime. Jeremy Meeks became an internet sensation overnight in 2014 when his mugshot went viral after being posted by the Stockton Police Department. His piercing blue eyes, chiseled jawline, and teardrop tattoo made him an unlikely internet heartthrob. While many social media users were captivated by his model-like appearance, few realized that Meeks was a documented gang member involved in serious crimes, including firearm possession, theft, and gang-related violence. His story is a unique twist on how social media can turn a criminal into a celebrity and ultimately give them a second chance at life. Meeks was born in Tacoma, Washington, and raised in California, where he had a troubled childhood. His early years were marked by gang affiliations and multiple run-ins with the law. In 2002, he was convicted of grand theft and assault, serving 2 years in prison. Even after his release, he struggled to leave behind his criminal ties, becoming associated with the Crips gang in Stockton. His notoriety took an unexpected turn in 2014 when he was arrested in a gang sweep operation targeting violent criminals. His charges included illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, grand theft, and resisting arrest. The Stockton Police Department posted his mugshot on Facebook, along with several others, expecting it to be just another routine crime report. Instead, the internet exploded with admiration for his looks. Within hours, his photo had gone viral, gaining hundreds of thousands of likes, shares, and comments from people calling him the hot felon and joking about bailing him out just to date him. Meeks' viral fame didn't go unnoticed. While he was still in prison, modeling agencies and talent scouts reached out to his family offering him contracts. His Instagram, managed by his relatives, quickly gained a massive following. Instead of being just another felon lost in the system, he became a social media sensation with fans eagerly waiting for his release. After serving 27 months in prison, Meeks was released in 2016 and immediately capitalized on his internet fame. Within months, he signed a major modeling contract, walked the runway at New York Fashion Week, and started rubbing shoulders with A-list celebrities. He transformed his image from a gang member to a fashion icon, gracing the covers of magazines and landing lucrative endorsement deals. However, his transition wasn't without controversy. Many critics argued that his criminal past was being glorified and that he was benefiting from the same justice system that disproportionately punishes others. Some saw him as an example of privilege, while others viewed his transformation as a redemption story, proving that social media can offer second chances even to those with a troubled history. Today, Jeremy Meeks continues to thrive in the fashion and entertainment industry. His story remains one of the most unusual examples of how social media can take someone from a life of crime to international fame. While many criminals get caught by their online presence, Meeks used it as a lifeline, escaping the streets and building a legitimate career out of his viral moment. Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto king who used social media to build and destroy a billion-dollar empire. Sam Bankman-Fried, once hailed as the golden boy of crypto, became one of the most notorious financial criminals of the modern era. As the founder of FTX, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, he used social media to craft an image of a brilliant, altruistic entrepreneur while secretly orchestrating one of the biggest financial frauds in history. His downfall, much like his rise, played out in real time on Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, where he engaged with followers, investors, and regulators, right up until his empire collapsed. Born in 1992, Bankman-Fried, often called SBF, was a math prodigy who studied at MIT before entering the world of high-frequency trading. He founded Alameda Research, a crypto trading firm, and later launched FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that promised to revolutionize finance. Through aggressive marketing and relentless social media engagement, SBF became a cult-like figure in the crypto community, drawing in billions of dollars from retail investors, hedge funds, and celebrities. His Twitter presence was central to his brand. Unlike traditional CEOs, he personally tweeted several times a day, engaging with users, posting memes, and making cryptic jokes about financial strategies. He positioned himself as an anti-establishment genius, appearing on podcasts, YouTube interviews, and Twitter Spaces, where he spoke about effective altruism, a philosophy that promoted making money to give it away for good causes. This image, combined with endorsements from celebrities like Tom Brady and partnerships with major sports leagues, made FTX one of the most trusted names in crypto. However, behind the scenes, SBF was running a Ponzi scheme. He had secretly transferred billions of dollars from FTX customers' funds to Alameda Research, using the money to cover trading losses, buy luxury properties, and donate to political campaigns. When questioned about financial concerns, he turned to social media to deny allegations and reassure investors, claiming FTX was financially stable, even when it was on the brink of collapse. His deception unraveled in November 2022, when a leaked balance sheet from Alameda revealed that FTX was built on shaky financial ground. A Twitter feud with Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, CZ, triggered a mass withdrawal of funds, causing a $32 billion empire to collapse in days. As users rushed to withdraw their money, FTX froze accounts, leaving billions of dollars in customer funds missing. Even as regulators and journalists dug into the fraud, SBF continued tweeting through the crisis, often in a bizarre, erratic manner. He posted cryptic one-word tweets, engaged in Twitter debates, and gave reckless interviews, further incriminating himself. His desperate attempts to control the narrative backfired as investigators used his social media posts against him in court. In December 2022, Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas and later extradited to the United States, where he faced multiple charges, including wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. In 2023, he was convicted, marking one of the most dramatic financial scandals of the decade. Sam Bankman-Fried's story is a stark reminder of how social media can be a powerful tool for both deception and exposure. He built his reputation online, using tweets and viral moments to gain trust. But when the truth surfaced, those same platforms documented his downfall in real time. His rise and fall will go down as one of the most infamous cases of digital age fraud, proving that in the world of social media, even billionaires aren't untouchable.